So this afternoon I'm out rolling around seeing what I can find to shoot. I have the Sony Alpha 1 with the 200 by 600, 5.6 by 6.3, and then I have my Nikon Z9 f4 600 millimeter. Just trying to see what all I can see, and basically it's kind of a death battle. There's a chance in the coming year that I'm gonna possibly get rid of one system and upgrade to another, or we will just have to see. So one may be on the chopping block in the near future. So the lighting's good. Just have to see what I can find. Vultures on the move. This is the Sony on auto. ISO's on auto. I do believe I hear an eagle in the background. I just haven't seen it. There she goes. Tracking's decent. Looks like a red-shouldered hawk. Well, the good news is that I went back down the road that I had first went down about 9 minutes after sundown, and a lot of that. I was able to locate an osprey that was off the road just a little ways. Got to do a great comparison of the... This is f6.3, 1/60th of a second. And it is with the Sony Alpha 1. I have to break my tripod out to really get this steady. Mosquitoes as big as him are coming in here too. Let's switch back to photo. This is with the Z9. It's searching, it doesn't know what it's looking for though.
Switch back to photos.
All right, real quick, I wanted to do a quick thought. I just had the video of me rolling around looking for the different birds that I could shoot, and you see the example of the osprey of the Nikon Z9 versus the Sony, and both will be kind of shown here. Long story short, this is like it's a $13,000 to $15,000 lens. I'd have to look again. If you go and buy a new, I think that the Z9s have dropped considerably because a lot of people have switched to Sony. I personally have had the Z9 in negative 20-degree weather that I left in my Jeep in Alaska in January in 2023, and it's still turned on. That is because the battery is completely enclosed in here. The Nikon is a bit heavier, but the ceiling and the full body camera and the battery life on this is outstanding. The only real cons to this Nikon is going to be the weight, and it is going to be the bulkiness of it. Other than that, and maybe the tracking system, which Nikon hasn't quite updated yet, but I mean, this is just an absolutely phenomenal camera. I can't say enough about it. I can't even bring myself to get rid of it. When you remove the camera from the lens, it automatically closes and protects it. In ostrich environments like in Alaska, where I was shooting this last time, you just couldn't beat it. So it's going to be really hard to decide, but you can see the color with the osprey, and that was within just moments of each other because I had both the cameras sitting on the side of the Jeep with me as I'm going around trying to get these different raptors, which is my favorite thing to shoot anyways. And then the Sony, you can't beat how light it is. Now, I can't afford right now the Sony f4 lens. I just don't have the funds for it, especially since this is the Sony Alpha 1. Super compact, the battery life's pretty decent on it. I haven't been on any really good expeditions with it yet. That is coming up. I will be doing that this season. Nothing but good things to say. The video of the Osprey kind of speaks for itself. The tracking on this is absolutely amazing. Now, the weight that you take with you on a lot of these expeditions, because I shoot anything from portrait to landscape to nature, and here in Texas, more birding than other things. Raptors are kind of what I prefer, but I'll photograph a lot of different things just depending on what I can get that day and what my schedule allows for. I do like how this is all internal. The Tamron that I have for some of the older model Nikons extends and then retracts. I was between this and the 60 and 200. When I say chopping block, it's hard to compare that lens to this one because this is just the Sony E-mount FE 5.6 to 6.3, 200 to 600G OSS Professional, and the tracking and the amount of frames per second that the Sony does with this is absolutely outstanding. Some of them are blurry. I've been playing around with it in manual to where I can get the shots the way that I want it, but the tracking in video, this video is, from what I've seen so far, much superior to the Nikons. The video on the Sony. That's pretty much what I'm using this for videography as well, for some of the weddings and portrait stuff that I do on the side. But for travel, the compact size. But for nature, a lot of people would probably get the battery pack. Then you have the Z9. So if Nikon steps it up for the firmware upgrades for the Z9 in weight, you know, for being such a big lens, it's really not that heavy compared to how solid this little guy is. I think this is like 8 pounds just for this 200, 600. So it depends on if this channel takes off, if I'm able to get more funding, because maintaining both of these high quality professional cameras, it's not cheap. I would like to keep both, and I may be able to. It just kind of depends on what the economy does and where we go from there. But yeah, the test was between these two. The videos that you see, I tell you which is which. You can see the video quality of the Sony versus the Nikon 600. The Nikon 600 pictures, because it's an f4 lens prime, you know they're going to be, I can't say superior because this shoots really well as well.
So it just kind of depends on your preference. So just have to go from there. So all that being said, I don't know exactly what is going to happen in the near future. I really have a love for both of these platforms. Sony and Nikon have a real special place in my heart, and I'm trying to see if it's advantageous if I keep both for videography and photography in the future, if I use the advantages of both, or if I come into a sponsorship or something and I'm able to get the F4 400 or the 600 for the Sony, which I really want to be able to do comparison with. So we'll see what I'm able to swing in the near future. Maybe in a year down the road I could budget for it, but right now it's not on the budget. Content's more important. So I'm blessed to have both platforms. I will have to decide on whether or not one of them is going to be on the chopping block and just go from there. But for now, look forward to more content. I got more stuff coming up this winter, and hopefully next year, a lot going to be happening. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're turning off the news and you're focusing on what is still beautiful. Most people in the world are good. Don't let a few situations around the world mess up, but who is driving the bus does matter, because no one has the right to control everybody else. So ignore the noise. Make sure you pick somebody smart that's driving the bus that's going to take care of you. And I'll leave that at that. Other than that, looking forward to more content. You guys, blessings upon everyone. Remember, humans over AI.